welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Michaela Mariner, and I like to do videos that are all about finding home wherever you are. I grew up moving all the time, and I just am very intrigued by adaptation and change. So this video is all about time management. Yeah. Something I definitely had to master when I was going to college online, and I really grew to love it. Didn't think that I would like it, but it was nice to create some type of schedule that was my own and just get it done. I had deadlines, had to get stuff done. So once I graduated, I had a hard time with not having as many things to do, homework assignments and essays and whatnot. It was hard for me to kind of figure out, okay, what do I want to do now with all this time, now that I'm out of school? So over time, my habits and routines and things have changed. My interests have grown and changed. So with structure, it is very integral to basically build out blocks of time and figure out your priorities. That's a big one. And that, I think, is why a lot of people, including myself, get lost or overwhelmed or basically just don't get the things done that they keep saying they want to get done. My first piece of advice is writing everything down. Literally just have yourself a nice brain dump session. I mentioned this in my previous video. Basically, you just write everything that is on your mind. Literally all of it. It doesn't have to be organized. It doesn't have to have any sort of sense to it. Just get all the words out on a page and then start to connect them and figure out which ones are actually important. Most times you'll find that there's things that have been weighing you down, like in the back of your mind, that you don't actually have to do right this second or even this week, and just kind of literally write a mark through it and mark it off and be like, this is not a priority right now. Corny, but not a priority. The acronym there would be NAP. So just tell it to take a nap and you can come back to it later. So while you're writing everything out and figuring out your priorities, hopefully you have a planner. If you don't, we are in 2019, so I would imagine you have some sort of calendar on your phone. Start there, start small, and just fill in certain things that you definitely know you have to do, like go to work, go get groceries, things like that. I personally love color coding. That's really helpful for me, and I am a huge believer in the Google Calendar. I especially love it because of its reminder functions. So literally anything I need to do, like this week, I had to get 2 people's birthday cards in the mail. So that meant I had to write them, and I had to envelope them, and I had, there's a lot of steps to that. It's not just like, oh, throw a card in. No. You have to allot the time. So I'll do 3 or 4 days before their birthday, get it in the mail. The night before that, write it all out and have it ready, put it in your bag, etc., etc. So reminders are super helpful for me, and I like to keep things categorized in Google Keep. If time management comes naturally to you, then that's freaking awesome. That is not one of my strengths. I've found that I very much need external tools and resources to help me be the best that I can be, and that's why I love using my phone for a lot of different things. But I'm also a big, I love paper planners, so I will continue to use those. It's that kind of day. Skip the makeup, throw on glasses and a hat and a hoodie, and just get the things done. I have work and then a little bit of a break, and then I have a work event, and I have a lot of YouTube stuff that I would like to get done, and I just kept choosing different priorities. I think that is what throws us into a loop. So if you choose to sit down and watch Netflix instead of vacuuming or changing the sheets or something like that, like, you may beat yourself up the next day, but you, in that moment, you made that decision. And that's how I feel right now, where that was my priority, was to watch really funny YouTube videos with my husband last night after dinner instead of doing something productive, because I was utterly exhausted from going back to work after being gone for 11 days. Like, we have to give ourselves grace in these moments, but it also should just teach us that in the future we need to, me included, we really need to schedule in like cushion time and leisure time. So a lot of times we look at our schedule and we see work and we see dinner with friends or something like that. Maybe we see a block for getting groceries, and we don't really put in those times for watching a movie or just totally vegging out. Usually that's the blank space, but if you're if you like to plan and stuff, usually the blank space is where you have room to make more plans. And so sometimes it's important to just block that off and be like, nothing. We're not going to put anything here. So that's something that I am learning over and over and over again. Okay. See you in a minute. Okay. So very little work is exhausting me. I woke up super achy after sneezing like all day long yesterday. Apparently there's like a really high mold spore count in Connecticut right now, which is just great considering that's like the number one thing I'm allergic to. So it's just like killing my energy levels, and I'm just kind of like chugging along. Since I'm here like all day today, it's a good day to just go and grab lunch out, because I can take a longer break on these quality control days. And then we also have like a drink competition event tonight. So I'm basically in the area all day. So that was a part of my meal planning this week. I knew that I was going to do that, so I arranged certain meals for certain nights, and for lunch purposes, I didn't make any extra last night because I knew that I would be eating out today. So when I went to get my lunch over in that little like shopping center, there's also a post office, and I have two friends' birthdays coming up. And so I went to drop off those cards. I had them in my bag along with everything else, packed it all last night to make sure that I would not forget. So I had reminders on my phone so that I wouldn't forget, and just planned everything in that vicinity so that I could do all those things together rather than, driving all the way across town to do one thing, etc., etc. So try to group those like things together, and so that is helpful. So now that's all done. That's one thing off my list, and I can focus on eating my lunch and then going back to work. And those are my focuses for the next several hours, blocks of time. So like I said, this week one of the things that I did well was meal planning. Some weeks I don't do a great job, and it just varies. I knew how crazy busy this week was going to be, and I did understand relatively how exhausted I would feel going back to work after being on vacation. So I was very realistic in that regard, that I really shouldn't be eating out a lot, and I should build very simple meals that we could make at home and save a couple bucks, because we're having to go back to Virginia for another wedding. So looking forward a little bit, but not too much. So don't obsess over the fact that you really need to clean your car 3 weeks from now. Like, don't think about that when you're planning for this week. If anything, just mark it off and be like, I don't have to worry about you right now. Something that I keep having to relearn is allowing cushion room. So let's make a game plan for the week and tackle these things. Just really get the ones that are the most important, and hopefully everything else will fall into place, and we'll build on that as we move forward. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that I offered some tips. Maybe you're just like, wow, I'm not gonna do that. That's stupid. Or you actually find some help from this video. Next week, we're gonna tackle finding financial freedom. I'm just gonna discuss, you know, adult things like creating a budget and being realistic with that budget and not depriving ourselves, guys. Because it doesn't have to be excruciating when you put yourself on a budget. It can actually be fun. I can't believe I just said that, but it is kind of fun. Okay, as always, don't forget to subscribe and please like this video if you found literally anything helpful or entertaining. Please share with me in the comments below things that help you stay ahead and on track. I want to know your tips because we can always improve. So don't forget to